This morning, the president tweets tariffs have put the U.S. in a very strong bargaining position with billions of dollars in jobs flowing into our country. And yet cost increases have thus far been almost unnoticeable. If countries will not make fair deals with us, they will be tariffed. All that said, Empire did see prices paid at a 76-month high. So is he right, Jim?
Well, there's been a strange collapse in a lot of the commodity prices that we've seen. China, you see Apple down because people feel that, wait a second, that's going to be the next $276 billion. 10% is a lot better than 25.
Do we know it's going to be 10? Do we know it's going to? I mean, that's been speculated. I know in the Journal today, and
yes,
a number.
You're absolutely right. It is speculation.
Because the president always seems to want to be as tough as he possibly can, and so you wonder when you see a 10%, is that coming more from the dovish camp in the administration,
or does
and will you end up still at 25 because he says no way? I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying in the past, you can't guarantee it.
No, I mean, I think that it could be 10 going to 25. I think he really wants to go for the juggler here. For some of the people I talked to, they're looking at the stock market. The Chinese stock market versus our stock market. The Chinese stock market has had a critical breakdown. It's down to November of 2014. It's really rolling over. There's a lot of, remember, they encouraged a lot of ownership of stock, and that turns out to be something that the party cannot control. The party's not been able to prop up stocks. At the same time, the president is right that the economy is strong. It hasn't filtered through the system yet, but that's interesting. The New York number clearly says it has. You know, I've got Marcus Lemonis on tonight, and you know, he at Camping World, huge recreational vehicle company. Well, Thor reports this week they really saw the impact. They saw just pow to their gross margins, but there aren't a lot of Thors, and the auto market. You know, autos have been sluggish anyway. And it turned out that Dan D'Amico was right, the former CEO of Nucor, that there hasn't been that much impact in pricing. But a lot of that is because they've had to discount because they can't move cars. Yep. So it just happens to be fortuitous.
Interesting. Now the Journal talks about Chinese officials telling leadership to step it up by restricting sales of materials, equipment, and parts to U.S. manufacturers' supply chains. Do they have any leverage there?
Maybe with Apple. Skyworks has been going down. Skyworks is a maker there. They're playing with fire because almost all these companies, with the exception of Apple, have the ability to switch pretty quickly. Now, Skyworks is difficult because they've got such an entrenched view, but entrenched set of factories. But anything apparel, anything furniture. I had RH, Gary Friedman, a huge builder in China. He says, listen, don't worry about it. We're going to be able to build this stuff anywhere. So I think that they have to be careful because, yes, I mean, there are companies that have deep roots in China, but there's a lot of companies that say, listen, you know, we've been prepared. That's why we're in Cambodia. That's why we're in Thailand. That's why we're in Vietnam.
Right, although you have said in the past, and I think it is fair to assume, it still takes 18 to 24 months to move, to change your supply chain and move your manufacturing base. It's not an insignificant amount of time.
No, and that's why I think the more the president rolls these out in stages, the more perhaps the muted and give you more chance to be able to build elsewhere. But I don't know if the president's really that granular, frankly.
My sense is he's not.
No, he's not that granular because it really requires a tremendous amount of time-consuming thinking with CEOs, and that's kind of what the CEOs today in the Wall Street Journal, the finance guys are saying, hey, listen, Wall Street guys, guys, Mr. President, we need help. And I don't want to go too much into what Jamie said because I know it's facetious, but the Wall Street guys are not winning.